In this question, we are expected to find the acceleration of the objects placed on an inclined plane of angle 30 degrees. Alright? The weight of the objects act downward 15 kg, but there is a normal reaction acting upward because of the reaction of the object at the surface of the inclined plane. It's normal. Also, there is an opposite force pulling it this way while it slides downward. We are going to take note of that. And for us to calculate the acceleration of these objects, we need to make use of F, force, is equal to ma, right? But since we are talking about force acting downward, that's the weight of the object, we are going to change this, all right? We are going to change this to become g, the acceleration, right? Okay, and then we now remember we're talking about the theta. Theta is the angle of inclination that is going to be sine theta. So with this formula, we are going to find the force, first of all, before we now find the net force. After finding the net force, we apply the second formula, which is F is equal to ma, right? Ma, where we now make A the subject of the formula and then find its value. If we make A the subject, it becomes A is equal to F all over N. Alright? By then, we must have found the value of this F. Alright? So let's delve into it. But before we do that, don't forget, subscribe. Come on, subscribe. If you're finding value in this, alright? Subscribe. Give us some thumbs up. Put on the bell button for constant notification each time something like this is uploaded. Alright? And then remember to share with your friends, to share with your students, to share with your networks. Alright, so let's move into it. First of all, we apply very simple formula, this first one, and after which we apply the second one. So the first one is F is equal to mass. The mass of the object is 15, we put 15. And then times, we have been given a hint. Look at the hint here. Hint, acceleration due to gravity is equal to 10 meters per second squared. So we put 10 here. Very simple. Multiply by sine theta, and then sine theta is simply sine 30 degrees. Sine theta is simply sine 30 degrees. So we simplify. We have F is equal to 15. 15 times 10 is going to be 150. Then sine 30 degrees is simply half. And we have 1 over 2. Alright? 150 divided by 2 is going to be 75. Is equal to 75 Newton. We're talking about force, okay? Newton. Alright? Then the resultant force. The resultant force is going to be, remember we have this force, 25 Newton. So the resultant force is going to be R is equals to, we can put it FR, right, is equal to 75 minus 25. And this gives a 50 Newton, right? So we have found the total force acting on the object as it slides down the inclined plane. Remember, the first force is pulling it in opposite direction, while the object itself is sliding in the other direction. So we need to find the force acting downward and the force pulling it in the opposite direction. So that is what we have done, the resultant force, because they are opposites. That's why we're using minus sign. Alright? Remember, it's very simple. So after that, we have our resultant force is equal to 50 Newton. Take note of that. And this comes to the point. Call this equation number 1. Alright? And then this should be equation number 2. So we're going to make use of equation number 2. Alright? Once again, let me remind us, subscribe. Come on, patronize us. Subscribe. If you have watched to this point and you have found value in this, why don't you consider to subscribe? Why don't you give us some thumbs up? And then share with your friends, with your students, with your learners, with your networks, alright? Also, remember to put on the bell button for constant notification. Each time contents like these are uploaded, you'll be notified. Alright, having said that, it is time for us to find the acceleration of these objects sliding down the inclined plane. Very simple. So we restate equation number 2, which is given as acceleration A, alright, is equal to force, which becomes our resultant force at this point in time, all over mass. Yeah. So the resultant force is 50, alright, is equals to 50 all over mass. What should be our mass here? 15 kg. We put 15, that's the value, right? We can simplify without using a simple calculator here. If 5 goes against 50, we have what? 10. If 5 divides 50, we have 3. Very simple, right? So our acceleration once again becomes 10 all over 3. We can still simplify further. And further simplification we give 3, because 3 divide 10. 3 divide 10 is going to get 3, remainder 1. And that one, subsequent division will give us reoccurring 3, right? And that will give us meter per second squared. Therefore, the value for acceleration of the object sliding down the inclined plane is 3.33 meter per second squared. That is the value. Alright, and that is the end of this question. We have solved from beginning to the end. If you have any question, put it in the comment section. If there is any part of this question that you are confused with, let me know by putting it in the comment section. Tell me this part is not clear. I will explain further. Before I end this, I want to once again remind us, those of you watching this video, if you have really watched to this point and you have found meaning, you have found value, you have been educated by these concepts, why don't you subscribe? Why don't you subscribe? Give us some thumbs up. Alright? Share with your networks. Share it with your learners, with your students, with your friends. And who knows, you might be helping somebody somewhere. Remember to put on the bell button for constant notification so that each time contents of this kind are uploaded, you will be among the first set of individuals to be notified. I will be solving things like this, questions like this in physics, in chemistry, in agricultural science, for your learning pleasure and for you to gain knowledge. All right?